Tea Time with Professor Emeritus. Today we're talking about trends that I started. The first trend: intelligence quotients that are above average. I don't think I have to continue with that one. It just moves me. It moves me. Elbow patches. I'm sure we've all seen them. Case in point. Exhibit A. One may ask, in fact, students often have asked. I have one right now doing an undergraduate thesis on it. Let me tell you the story about how I invented the elbow patch. Some people that are undoubtedly smarter than you are, call this etiological tales. Allow me to explain my etiological tale of the elbow patch. One day, I was walking from the humanities library to the humanities library. I had a giant stack of books, languages from countries like Yugoslavia, Ukraine, the original text of Hammurabi's Law Code. I'll tell you more about Hammurabi's Law Code at a later date. You won't get it right now. And I tripped. And I scraped my elbow. And it created a hole. So, I purchased an iron-on patch. And that iron-on patch then became all the rage. Starting at Dartmouth, where I did my first doctorate. It moves me down to think of that too. Moving on then to Stanford, Yale, back to Dartmouth, to Harvard. And from Harvard, an assortment of U.S. presidents began to wear it. And now, the elbow patch is found in every institution worn by every self-respecting, intelligent individual. The third thing, the third trend that I began was the trend of talking to your hardworking students like they only have part of their prefrontal cortex. Part of the prefrontal cortex, which only enables them to have very basic math skills and other basic knowledge. The fourth trend that I invented was the trend of drinking coffee. I have another etiological tale for that. And let me remind you, because clearly you're not the type of intelligent people that would write that sort of important information down in one's notes. I was on one of 14 of my study abroad trips to various parts of the world. And as I was studying the development of ancient mating calls of populations of whales off the coast of the Yukon. And yes, the Yukon does in fact have a coast. But unbeknownst to you, students who don't know a thing. Anyway, one of the fellow researchers, after taking a series of decibelic, also a word, sound bites. It is also a word. I'll explain the origins of that another time, another lesson when you're more advanced in your basic skills. Anyway, after taking the sound bites of various whale populations, he poured a curious drink of a black liquid, and in his Yucanese, in his native tongue, he told me, it's Shinette. I miss him. It moves me even now. Every time I drink Shinette and I read the caution contents are crying out of one eye. Okay. Another trend that I, your professor, Emeritus, invented was the trend of putting a pencil behind one's ear. One curious November day, I was drinking a cup of Shinette, and I realized that in the processes of calculating and writing out incredibly intelligent, difficult, groundbreaking, peer-reviewed, exponentially peer-reviewed research on Euclidean proofs, which then led into research on non-Euclidean proofs, which were then the foundations of E equals MC squared. Yes, I was involved in that too. Anyway, I realized that I could not find my pencil, as they called it in the UK. And so, after wasting precious hours working on my tenure, looking for my pencil, I thought, this is the perfect cylindrical area to stick behind one's ear. And so that's what I did. And I'm still working on a formula to keep it there. The pencil behind the ear. This concludes your incredibly enlightening, difficult to digest, always challenging, mind-blowing presentation of Tea Time with Professor Emeritus. Next week on Professor Emeritus's Tea Time show on your local public broadcasting station, right in between Matza with Miriam Rosenberg and other after-school PSAs on not doing drugs. We talk about the mating habits of another population of whales off the coast, the secret, mysterious coasts of other continents that were previously said to not have a coastline, as well as the etiological. And yes, I'll have an outline for you, because yes, Stephen, it will be on the test. I will talk about the origins of pulling one's glasses down to the rim of one's nose.